This bad boy. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. How's everybody doing? This is Brad Daddis, PPR certified coach, coming at you with a quick review. Might not be so quick on the Maverix Havic-16 millimeter Power Model paddle. So it's a thermoformed paddle with foam edges. And I know what you're thinking at this point. It's like, okay, Brad, just another thermoform paddle. Like, how different can it be? I thought the same thing. To be honest, I saw this paddle on the internet and I'm like, man, that looks like a cool, that's a badass looking paddle. It looks cool. I like the shape, like the design. But I couldn't find any reviews or any kind of social proof to let me know how the paddle was. So I held off on buying it. But I did reach out to the owner, Matt, and let him know why I wasn't buying it. Matt is a super good guy. He was nice enough. He said to me, you know what? I'm going to send you one out. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you send it back. And I really appreciate that. Not every company will do that, you know? And it turns out, you know, he convinced me that this sounded like the right paddle for me after I told him what I was looking for. And yeah, he wasn't kidding. I had no expectations, to be honest. But I'm here now to tell you about how this paddle became my go-to paddle after playing with virtually every thermoformed paddle there is on the market. There's a couple new ones I haven't played with yet, but you know, gosh, play with them all. And you know, there's variants, but with every paddle, thermoform paddle, there's always something you're missing, right? If you want more control, then you're lacking some power. If you want some more power, you're lacking control and feel. And you know, it's just a give and take when it comes to paddles. But this one, and again, remember, it's what paddle you're coming from, and I'm coming from thermoform paddles. And two, it's personal preference. So what I say right now, you might not agree with once you get a hold of this paddle. So I'm just throwing that out there. But in my experience, this is right now the best paddle I've ever played with. And that says a lot because I'm a paddle geek, paddle nerd, paddle hoarder who's played with pretty much everything. I've been using, before last week, I have been using the Vatic Pro Flash 14 millimeter paddle for doubles and the Carbon 1X 16 millimeter for singles. And both have their pros and cons. You know, I love the poppiness and the quick deflection off the face of the Flash 14 millimeter. I love the hybrid shape. And I'm sorry, this is also a hybrid shape. All right. And obviously you can see the angles here. This paddle, you know, Matt said, you know, it plays a lot maneuverability wise, like a 14 millimeter paddle, and it does. The swing weight is 118, just a few, I think the Vatic Pro is 115. And so it's super fast in the hands, and it actually is aerodynamic, like no doubt about it, because of the cuts. I got off topic though. Yeah, so I want to explain how I went from those paddles to settling on this for both singles and doubles. It's always nice to have one paddle for it all, right? The Vatic was great for me, but it's a poppy paddle, right? And sometimes you don't want it to be quite as poppy. You want a little more control. But then you have things like the Vatic Prism, well, not necessarily thermoformed, that are full of control, but lack a little oomph and pop, right? And some people are okay with that. I wanted something that kind of has it all. The Carbon 1X, for example, that's got a lot of power. A lot of people hit balls out with that. And it's not as aerodynamic or maneuverable at the net. But this bad boy, it really, I was shocked. Like I had no idea it would become my next go-to paddle. Like it's the first time I got a new paddle in a long time where like I was giddy, like I had a smile on my face while playing with it for the first time. The spin is ridiculous. It's top tier. I don't know have the numbers. Like hopefully Chris Olsen one day gets around to this paddle. But it's not just spinning on drives from the baseline and things like that. I like to be able, you know, paddles that have good spin when you're just thinking like cross-court topspin dinking. Like it's insane how much spin I'm getting on this. And again, this could be, I don't have my other paddles here to compare it to. I'll get to that. When I get home, I'll do some comparisons. And if you guys have any questions like, hey, you know, I want to know how it compares to my paddle. If you're talking about a thermoform paddle, I likely have it or had it. It can probably answer that question. So just post and I'll let you know the differences between the two. But so this has the maneuverability, the spin. The face is a little softer, and the carbon, the face of the Vatic is fairly stiff, and some people like that. But this is a nice. I don't want to say it's soft. It's just more forgiving. The sweet spot is just like endless. I mean, if you hit it here, it's probably a sweeter spot than the sweet spot on some Gen 1 paddles. It's just very lively all around, but it's not springy, which is what I don't like about the Vatic Flash 16 millimeter paddle. It just kind of flies off the face too much. No, this does what you want it to do. And while I say it's a little bit more forgiving, one thing I don't want to lose, I don't know a lot of 4.0s and up above, you don't want to lose a certain amount of pop. When you're in a firefight, you want that thing to deflect off the face of the paddle as fast as possible while keeping control. So this, I'm not sure how they did it, Matt and the team from Maverix, or what, why it's allowing me to play the way it is, but it's got controlled power, controlled pop, and those are the two main things I want. And again, the maneuverability, 8 ounces, 8.1 ounces. You got a 5.3 inch handle that feels really a lot like a 5.5 inch handle. So I usually play with the pinky hanging off a little bit, but let's say I'm not playing with the pinky hanging off. Like, this is my whole hand on the paddle. You can see with the flare, the taper there, it's plenty of room. Then again, I'm used to the hybrid shape, so it might not be great for everybody, but for me, it's perfect. This was supposed to be a quick video, but I'm a bit of a chatty Cathy, apparently. Let's go into some playing. But yeah, again, thanks Matt and the team from Maverix. This paddle does it all. The control and the perfect blend of power, maneuverability, spin. You got to get your hands on one. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't not tell you this. They resale for $180. Right now they're being sold for $154 or $155. But I have a discount code that is BRAD, B-R-A-D, P-Ball, as in pickleball, quite obviously. So if you go to mavericspickleball.com, go ahead, BRAD, P-Ball, will get you 15% off that. So now you're in Vatic price range, Vatic Flash, Vatic V7, and things like that. So it's worth taking a shot on. This is going to catch on like wildfire. I really believe that, especially at that price. I can't speak to the durability yet, but the quality is there. Like, you just know, and the extra details that a paddle company goes into. Sorry for the ball dust. There's just some things about this. This just this feels high quality and substantial when you're playing with it. You know what I mean? So I don't see any problems moving forward. And as a side note, of course, it comes with the neoprene sleeve where, you can't even get a Yola Hyperion with a sleeve at this, till this day. I shouldn't be wearing this carbon hat, but I put it on because I wanted to show you guys. So here's the box it comes in, and there's plenty of unboxing videos. But this hat right here, this Maverix hat, first of all, it's awesome because of the shape, and it's just not another dad hat. I get it, I'm a dad, but I don't have to wear dad hats all the time. So you get this free hat, and the quality of this hat, it's almost the same. It's basically the same hat, just a little slightly different shape. I paid $40 for this carbon hat. This hat comes with the paddle. I mean, again, I love when companies go above and beyond. First impressions mean a lot to me. And it also often shows in the detail of the product itself. It just kind of carries over. They're willing to invest, in their product. This is in the sleeve, it was, of course, a box within a box, where a lot of places, I'll get a paddle, it's just sent to me in like an Amazon-looking bubble bag, and not the best protection. Heck, you could store your paddle in here if you wanted to. It's just awesome. All right, guys. So again, code is, and I only got the discount code after this became my #1 paddle. I had no, I'm an ambassador for other pickleball paddle companies, but that wasn't my intentions here. But after I love the paddle, I'm like, you know what? Let's get a discount code for everybody watching. And of course, a kickback does go my way if you buy it, but no pressure, obviously. You don't have to buy it. I think you can even get it on Amazon at this point. Get that 2-day shipping. Thanks so much, guys. Brad Daddis signing off. Peace. Get yourself one of these. They're awesome. Hey guys, Brad back here. I just wanted to show some playing footage of, it's just me and my partner drilling, but for those that like to see the paddle in action, this is for you. Don't feel like you have to watch it to the end. Just gonna go over, some dinking, some hands, some resets, transition zone stuff, serves. What am I missing? Drops, obviously. And yeah, all the mistakes are free of charge. For real though, any mistakes you do see me make, it's not the fault of the paddle. And this is that's the first day I'm using the paddle. So it was just, the mistakes are on me. All right, enjoy, guys. And by the way, there is, because it weighs 8.1 ounces, there is room for customization, of course, which is something I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it up to about 8.5. Usually I go to about 8.4, 8.5 on most paddles in terms of weight. Yeah. All right, y'all. Take care.